We're going back to basics because food is expensive and we have leftovers from cooking out. One of my favorite parts about grilling with my family is that we usually have a fair amount of leftovers, even if we weren't the ones who cooked it. Now, if you play your cards right, you can usually pull off breakfast, lunch, and dinner for at least one day after. There are so many feelings and memories that come up when I think about cooking out that it's hard to just talk about one. So the thing I guess I'll talk about here is that I didn't grow up with hot dogs and eggs as a kid. The most I can recall is my grandmother making a hot dog on top of the fire on the stove and then throwing it into a tortilla. My exposure to hot dogs and eggs was because of my husband. You know, the weird thing is I can't even tell you why we didn't have hot dogs, except that maybe it's just because it was me and my mom and we weren't going to finish an 8-pack of hot dogs. Truth be told, I grew up mostly eating cereal for breakfast. While it may have skipped my generation, my kids are actually growing up with a lot of the food that my husband grew up with. Some of it might be due to budget, but mostly it's just the stuff that we have on hand. One of the things that I've most come to appreciate about the Back to Basics series is that I'm exploring food that I didn't have as a kid in a lot of instances, or I'm bringing back nostalgia for myself and a multitude of people. I find that a lot of times people say things in the comments about how they grew up with something that I'm making here on screen. Some people loathe the food I make, and others sit there and reminisce about something that they hadn't had in years. Now, whether that be because of shame or budget restrictions or just forgetting because you've learned how to make other things, I hope that my series serves as a reminder of where you came from and the things that we can do with very basic foods. Now, I will say that I grew up with smoked sausage and eggs for breakfast, and I do think that this is very close to that. So whether you grew up with hot dogs, smoked sausage, or breakfast sausage with eggs, I hope you're well fed. So I guess all I need to say is, go find your leftover hot dogs. We have meals to make.